Hello, my name is Michael Perez, and welcome back to another entry in my devlog series. Jumping right into it, the first thing I did was get the game to a point where a match could be played from start to finish. This included implementing the match timer, respawning weapons, and stats such as player eliminations and knockouts. After getting all of that in, I felt a drive to improve the game feel more, as I had recently watched the devlog from a content creator I keep up with, John. His video talked about how to make bullets feel much better in video games, including making them larger, giving them trails, making them glow, and so on. I'll link to his video in the description. It's really cool and I'd highly recommend watching it. I followed the advice from the video pretty much one-to-one, and I was stoked with the result. So much so, that I changed both the pistol and shotgun to use physical bullets rather than the old hit scan bullets. Keeping with the polishing work, I went back and overhauled all of the sounds. They were way too varied in both volume and tone. I wanted sounds that had a similar essence to them across the board. To get new sounds in, I utilized an online application called ChipTone, which I'll link to in the description. Here's a few examples of the sounds I made with it. The last piece of polish I wanted to implement was some extra melee swing effects. Using what I learned from polishing the physical bullets, I added some trails along the blades as well to help better visualize the arc of the swing. After playing around with the tool for a bit, I made it so the trail only comes out while swinging, as well as made its color the same as the blade when being swung. I'm really happy with how it came out. I then had the chance to playtest again with an actual person. Unfortunately, I still felt like the game didn't feel that fun. Melee versus melee in particular was really bad. Once again, I found myself in a position where I felt like I was wasting my time. I didn't feel like my effort with the game was resulting in any progress. Given that I wanted the game to basically be a top-down duck game, I spent a lot of time thinking about what to do. Duck game is fun because gravity in and of itself is a challenge that players have to overcome to defeat each other. Without gravity in this disc prototype, there's a huge mechanical hole that needs to be filled. Having come to no satisfying epiphanies, I decided to start wrapping up the project. I wasn't enjoying the process of developing it, and I really don't think it's an apt usage of my time working on projects I don't enjoy. I didn't want to abandon the project though. I composed a final list of changes I wanted to make to consider the game finished. The ability to zoom the camera out for bigger maps, a match settings screen, a polished results screen, and better player respawning. With all that in mind, I set out to start completing the project. Almost immediately, I ran into a huge brick wall. I accidentally encountered a bug that caused weapon spawning to break if two players were on the same spot. I ended up fixing it, but only after a really tedious refactor of the weapon pickup system. With that bug done and dusted, I set off again to start completing the project. Immediately again I encountered a brick wall, but this time I couldn't surmount it. When changing the size of an orthographic camera while motion blur is on, it creates a horrible effect where everything is unfathomably blurry until the camera stops changing in size. Even incredibly minor decimal changes causes this issue to occur. I figured this was going to be a popular issue with an easy solution when I started searching for it online, as I thought lots of people probably use the post-processing stack in their 2D games, and would have also encountered this terrible behavior after trying to change the size of their camera. To my surprise, I found virtually nothing about it. The single post I did find was from the Unity forums from 2018, where some person described the exact same issue I was having. Only one person responded to it, with no conclusive results coming about it. I banged my head against the wall over this for multiple hours. Considering how seemingly nobody online had this issue as well, I was confident I was overlooking something incredibly simple. I never figured it out though, and because of that, I removed the post-processing stack from the project entirely. I was a huge fan of the motion blur, but it was causing too much of a headache with the new camera functionalities. With that issue out of the way, I got the new camera behavior in by utilizing a Unity package called Cinemachine. But then, the third and final major issue of this week cropped up. I'm not sure why I noticed it, but for some reason I noticed jittering in the player's movement. It had apparently existed for the entire duration of this project's life, and I was blown away by how jarring it was. It agitated me so much I couldn't unsee it. I stopped all work on the camera and started trying to fix the issue. After an excruciating amount of time Googling for information about the issue, I finally found out that it was because of a tiny variable I had left unchecked for so long: interpolate. It was like night and day to me once I changed it and tested it out in-game. Here's a comparison between the two. Feeling confident after conquering that issue, I managed to squeeze in one more task for the week and built a larger, better map. So, what do I plan on doing this week? Going back to the aforementioned to-do list, the only things that come to mind are the match settings screen and the polished results screen. Once those are in, I'll probably do a few more gameplay tweaks and details, but after that, I'm thinking I'll call it quits. With that said, I might accidentally come across the secret to making a top-down game like this fun. I'm planning on taking this game to an event in the very near future to get some actual 4-player matches in, as well as some feedback from more sources than just myself and the person I've been playtesting with. That might provide me with some more substance to work with after getting the final previously listed features in. And with that, that's all I have to say about the game this week. My time to work on this project has been slightly reduced once more, as I bought a 10-hour Udemy course on 2D game engine fundamentals that I've been working through on the side. With that in mind, I don't think I can keep consistent with the 1 video per week cycle. Experimenting with that led me to believe it only works when my Friday and Saturday of that week are completely free, and it completely falls apart if I have any events planned. In the interest of not losing sleep over being inconsistent with my uploads, I'm going to switch to a 2-week upload cycle. So with that, I'll be back in 2 weeks for the next entry. Thanks for watching, and if you're coming back when that time comes, I'll see you then.